This video brings an emergency message that Archangel Michael desperately wants you to hear. He has been crying loudly because you haven't been listening to the urgent communication from someone you love who has passed away. This isn't just another spiritual video. It contains a final message that your deceased loved one left specifically for you. Michael is heartbroken that you might miss this critical truth from beyond the veil. The message you're about to receive has been waiting in the spiritual realm to reach you at this exact moment. There's a divine emergency happening right now as you watch this. Don't scroll away, because what you're about to learn is the whole truth your deceased loved one desperately needs you to know. Michael's tears show how urgent this undelivered message has become. This isn't an ordinary spiritual message. It's an emergency alert from heaven about a communication that your deceased loved one has been trying to send you. Archangel Michael has been watching your grief with deep concern, knowing that this important message remains undelivered. Missing this particular communication could mean your loved one's final truth stays forever unheard. This message represents a limited time spiritual window that's closing soon in the afterlife realm. Michael cares so deeply about your healing that he would be genuinely upset if you failed to receive what was meant for you. That's why this video found you today. Your attention to this message isn't by chance. It's a divinely orchestrated moment designed to help you finally hear what your deceased loved one has been desperately trying to tell you from the other side. The spiritual realm has been waiting for you to be ready to receive this complete truth. Every tear you've cried missing your deceased loved one has been collected in heaven. Every moment you've wondered if they're okay in the afterlife has been witnessed. All the times you've questioned if they can still see you, yet continued to love them anyway, have been honored by the angels. Your grief and longing haven't gone unnoticed by Michael. Those moments when other people seem to receive signs from their deceased loved ones, but you felt forgotten. Michael saw your pain. The times when your faith in life after death felt weak, yet you kept their memory alive anyway. That devotion was recognized in heaven. The strength it took to keep loving them when death seemed to separate you forever has been deeply valued. The questions you've carried about their final moments, sometimes too heavy to share with others, have all been acknowledged by Michael. Communication from beyond isn't always clear, and messages from deceased loved ones aren't always obvious. The message your deceased loved one wants you to receive appears in everyday spiritual moments, but is often overlooked because it seems too simple to be real communication from beyond. This message shows up in dreams where they appear with important information, in songs that remind you of them playing at meaningful times, or in objects connected to them appearing unexpectedly. It emerges in repeated numbers that held significance in your relationship, in their favorite flowers blooming out of season, or in strangers mentioning their name. This message is uniquely personal to your specific relationship, something your loved one has carefully chosen to grab your attention. From the spiritual realm, it connects directly to unfinished conversations you wished you'd had before they passed away. Your deceased loved one selected these particular signs because they speak to your heart in a language only the two of you would understand. The window to receive this complete message won't remain open in the spiritual realm forever. When you finally receive this message from your deceased loved one, many confusing aspects of your grief will suddenly make perfect sense. Unexplained dreams, mysterious signs, and spiritual experiences you've dismissed will all connect in a beautiful moment of divine clarity about their continued presence. Michael has wonderful news for you today. Your spiritual connection to the afterlife is growing stronger, and important communications from your loved one are becoming available to you now. The heavenly realm has noticed your deep love and grief, and now you've been chosen to receive this special message from beyond. This moment marks something significant in your relationship with your deceased loved one. It's a clear indication that death hasn't ended your bond but transformed it into something spiritual. Something incredibly meaningful is unfolding in your connection to the other side, far deeper than you might have imagined possible. The recognition of this message begins a spiritual awakening that will bring peace to your grieving heart. There's a wave of heavenly attention surrounding your grief right now. You're becoming more spiritually attuned to afterlife communication, naturally drawing messages from your deceased loved one into your daily experience. Recognizing this communication brings a heightened awareness of their continued presence in even the smallest details of your life. More spiritual insights from beyond will begin flowing to you than ever before. This isn't happening by chance. It's a carefully arranged blessing designed specifically for this season of your mourning journey. Your prayers to connect with your deceased loved one matter more than you realize. Your spiritual openness inspires heaven to reveal more communication from the other side. Your love makes a difference in the spiritual atmosphere between worlds. This divine message shows that Michael deeply values your relationship with your deceased loved one. Each sign you've almost recognized has developed your ability to receive this complete communication now. Michael delights when you finally hear what your loved one has been trying to tell you. The timing of this message from your deceased loved one is no coincidence. It comes now because you're spiritually ready to receive communication from beyond. This precise moment has been divinely chosen because you've grown in faith and spiritual awareness through your grief. Your heart is now open enough to hear messages that might have been too overwhelming before. Your soul has expanded through loss and mourning. Your spiritual wisdom has deepened through the experience of death touching your life. Your spirit is now prepared to receive this afterlife communication more clearly than ever before. All the pain you've endured and the questions you've wrestled with have been preparation for this revelation from beyond. Nothing in your grieving journey has been wasted. Every tear has shaped your ability to recognize spiritual signs when they appear. This particular message from your loved one is connected to larger movements happening in the spiritual realm right now. Michael is delivering similar communications to others who are ready to receive them. If you're feeling blessed by this divine communication from your deceased loved one, please consider sending a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or more to support our channel's mission of sharing these important messages from beyond. Your generosity helps these afterlife communications reach those who desperately need to hear from their deceased loved ones. When you give, you participate in a sacred exchange that allows us to continue creating content that bridges the gap between earth and heaven. As you begin to receive this message from your deceased loved one, new spiritual awareness about afterlife communication will naturally develop in your life. This clearer connection to the other side brings new responsibilities, not just to your own healing, but to everyone around you who might be missing similar messages from their deceased loved ones. Don't view these responsibilities as burdens, but as sacred opportunities to participate in Michael's work of delivering heavenly communications. This revelation signals it's time to step into spiritual maturity. As a bridge between worlds, finding balance becomes essential during this spiritually charged time of connection. While celebrating this new communication from beyond, remember to nurture your practical faith through prayer, meditation, and spiritual community. These spiritual disciplines have prepared you to receive messages from the other side and will continue to support you as you grow into this expanded role. Michael is inviting you to become someone who helps others hear from their deceased loved ones as you become sensitive to this divine message from your deceased loved one. Think about how you can help others who are still missing communications from their own loved ones who have passed away. Your experience shows that the spiritual realm is constantly trying to communicate with us, even when we fail to notice or believe. Heaven witnesses every moment of spiritual awakening and every recognition of afterlife communication. Your story of receiving this message brings hope to people feeling disconnected from their deceased loved ones, or wondering if death truly ends relationships, your awareness becomes a light that helps others develop spiritual eyes to see what their loved ones are trying to tell them from beyond. This message from your deceased loved one isn't meant to be a private blessing. It's an invitation to help others experience the same spiritual connection and healing. Michael often works through those who have recently received messages from beyond to help awaken others who are still missing signs from their own deceased family and friends. As you navigate this new level of spiritual connection with your deceased loved one, stay consistently open to afterlife communication. Michael reminds you that while receiving one message from beyond is wonderful, it's just the beginning of ongoing spiritual contact with those who have passed away. Maintain the spiritual sensitivity that allowed you to hear this message from your loved one in the first place. Guard against returning to spiritual skepticism that made you miss important signs from the other side in the past. Let your awareness of afterlife communication continue to flow from genuine faith and daily attention to Michael's guidance. With this new ability to receive messages from beyond comes ongoing responsibility to remain receptive and responsive. Use this gift wisely to discern true spiritual communication from wishful thinking or imagination. Not every spiritual experience is a message from your deceased loved one, but Michael will make truly important communications unmistakable. Embrace this journey with both faith and wisdom, showing others that connecting with deceased loved ones comes from staying spiritually open. Picture a future where you consistently receive messages from your deceased loved one whenever they need to communicate with you. Imagine spiritual connections opening unexpectedly, afterlife communications arriving precisely when needed, and your understanding of heavenly relationships expanding beyond anything you've experienced before. Michael stands with you, encouraging you to embrace this journey of spiritual connection with complete trust. This is truly your moment to experience deeper divine relationship through ongoing communication with your loved one who has passed away. This marks the beginning of a time when your spiritual perception, wisdom, and heart will be more aligned with heaven than ever before. Accept this blessing with gratitude, and remember that you're surrounded by angelic support on this journey of afterlife connection. The path ahead holds countless opportunities to experience your deceased loved one's guidance through messages that will become increasingly clear to your spiritually attuned heart. What joy awaits as you learn to read the divine language of love that transcends death itself. If this message from beyond has awakened something in your spirit, please consider blessing our channel with a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or whatever amount feels right to you. Your support creates a beautiful spiritual exchange and allows us to continue sharing these divine communications with those who need them most. Your generosity helps fund our mission to help others receive messages from their deceased loved ones in these important times. If you're ready to acknowledge that you're receiving communication from your loved one, type 888 in the comments below as your declaration of spiritual awareness. The journey of receiving messages from your deceased loved one continues beyond this revelation as you step into new spiritual awareness about afterlife communication. Stay grounded in prayer and meditation that keeps your discernment sharp and accurate. Every message you receive could be the exact confirmation someone else has been waiting to hear from their own loved ones who have passed. Your growing spiritual sensitivity serves as inspiration for others wondering if their deceased family and friends can still communicate with them today. Move forward with an open heart, a receptive mind, and a responsive spirit ready to receive ongoing guidance from beyond. Create opportunities for others to recognize messages from their deceased loved ones as you enjoy the continued connection coming your way. The spiritual language of love and communication has always been part of how relationships continue after death. By choosing to pay attention, you join a long tradition of faithful souls who have learned to recognize voices from heaven, speaking directly to their hearts through Michael's loving delivery.